Hello, welcome to Caffeinated Cast-Ons. My name is Therese, the face behind Caffeinated Cast-Ons. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new, welcome. This is a... Hold on, where's my brain? If you're new, welcome. If you are a subscriber, welcome back. And if you are not already subscribed, be sure to subscribe by clicking the button down below. Welcome. This is a YouTube channel. I'm a North Texas based knitter where I talk about my knitting, the projects I'm working on, a little bit of life sprinkled in there, and think of this as a video version of Ravelry project pages where I take you through notes, modifications, yarn, needle sizes, all those things. So it's a pretty fun time over here, and as mentioned, I am caffeinated. This is my first coffee of the day, and it's much needed because, wow, it's been like a pretty long couple weeks. You can find me on Instagram as @caffeinatedcastons. I have that information linked down below, as well as where else you can find me and contact me. Hello, this is episode 72 of Caffeinated Cast-Ons, and today is Sunday, August 17th. How are we pretty much all the way halfway through August? I don't understand. It's been a couple weeks since I posted last, so got some projects to go through, take you through. I've got a new cast on, and let's just chat. So pull up your beverage of choice if you'd like to cozy up with your project, and we can get into today's episode. I do not have any finished objects to take you through this week, but I've got some whips to take you through. So let's get started with those. I'll start with my Q3 project, which is the project I'm working on for the third quarter of the year. I am working on the Skyline Tee by Tori Yu of Tori Knits NYC, I believe, and it is going well. I will say, like, as a general theme with a couple of my whips, I like them, but I'm annoyed by a couple minor things with them. So I'll just start with that before, and let me get out my whip and show you. This is in a bag from McKinney Knittery. Just a fun little knitting saying to remember the motions to go through to how to knit. And I have my project in here, and I'll show you where I am at. So last time I showed this project, I was up here. I don't know if you can tell, it's Cusco from the Emperor's New Groove. And I've knit a few inches of the body. I am just knitting away on the body until I get the length that I want. That's the spot that I am in this project. I will say the thing that annoys me about this project is the line from when I added a second skein. I noticed it first on camera, and then I tried it on a day or two ago just to see what the length was doing, and I noticed it even more in person, and that is driving me nuts in this project because, like, I know this is completely out of control with people who hand dye yarns, but it's like, even though it's the same dye lot, there can still be variations in the yarn, and that can be more visible, I feel like, with tonals, just because there's not like speckled or other variegations to kind of hide it. So I'm just a tad annoyed at that, but again, this is just on me because I don't like alternating skeins. I don't do helical knitting, anything like that. So was it preventable? Probably. Like, but did I want to do that extra step? No. So that's just on me. But I am knitting away on the body. This is how much I have left in my second skein of yarn. And we can go ahead and talk about the yarn. Let me set this down. The yarn I'm using for this project is the Plucky Knitter, and then this is on their Primo fingering base. And that is a 75% superwash merino, 20% cashmere, and 5% nylon. And this is in the colorway Baby Love. So I have 3 skeins total. This is my last intact skein. I'm making my way through the second skein. Depending on the length and like how much positive ease you want, I think this could be a 2 skein project for myself, but just with how much ease in the length I want this shirt, I think I will for sure be breaking into the 3rd skein. I don't think I will need the whole thing. Let's see. For positive ease, let me back up. The size I am making in this garment, I am making the size 4. And then I am knitting that on a US size 4 needle, which is a 3.5 millimeter. And I am aiming for 4 to 6 inches of positive ease. And then I'm adding length to this because I'm not doing, I think it's a bit more cropped. I can't remember. It's not a crop top, but it is a bit of a shorter length, but I always like to add a little bit of extra length to the body of the garments that I knit. But yeah, I did a try on a couple days ago and it's fitting great. I think, however, before I finish the body, like once I get pretty close to the length that I'm happy with, I'm going to put the bottom on hold and do the collar, the neckline on this. That way I can just bring everything up and see if I still like the length. So right before I finish the length on the body, I think I'm going to go back and do the neckline, check that, then finish the length. For the sleeves, I don't know how long I'm going to make them because I think I still need to go back and pick those up. I think these are a bit of a longer sleeve, but I'm not sure how long I want them to be yet. That's a few steps ahead, so not quite there yet. But yeah, just that line has been driving me nuts every time I look at it. I'm like, and there's no way to hide that either. It's not one of those things that's like, oh, that'll block out. No, it won't. It is okay. We are powering through. Yeah, but just knitting away on the body length. The other whip that I have for you is the Lonely Leftover vest. I can't remember who it's by. But if you recall from last episode, this was an unexpected cast on because this whole year I've been only working on 1 garment per quarter. And I've sprinkled in different like socks that I've worked on, and a couple of other smaller projects, but I was not anticipating starting a vest. But last time I talked about this, I was very annoyed, came in a bit hot with like my opinion on the pattern. I will say it's still not my favorite pattern that I've ever had to read through, but it is I still say it's very easy. And this is working up super fast since I'm holding fingering weight double. So let me just show you what I've done. So last time I showed this, I was working on the back panel for the back yoke. And I think I was, yeah, right here. So I was just about done with the panel. Take that off. And I think my goal from last time I showed this was just to finish the back panel and start the I-cord on the back. Yeah, we are way past that, my friend. Like, here's the back. Here is the front. So we did all the shaping and everything, and now I'm just knitting on the body. And it has gone super fast. There's the armholes. I am making the size large in this pattern, and I am knitting this on a US 10.5 or a 6.5 millimeter needle. I am knitting this using some super old stash yarn. This is this is Brooklyn Tweed on their Loft, and it is 100% American Targhee Columbia wool. This is on the colorway Caribou. I have 6 skeins total of this, and I believe these are only 50-gram balls because it only says 275 yards on the back. So this is super old yarn. I think Brooklyn Tweed doesn't make yarn anymore, right? Like, didn't they discontinue? Or is that Hedgehog Fibers? Someone discontinued and they're going back to only pattern making, but I can't, my brain is mixing those two together. Can't remember which. I'm pretty sure it's Brooklyn Tweed, right? Either way. So here is one skein. It's like this grayish brown or brownish gray marled. And since I have 6 skeins, I cake up 2 at a time and I hold it together. Here's what it looks like intact in the skein. And it is going super well. I will say my one complaint, annoyance really, not complaint about the pattern, it's just more like choices that I made. I was following, oh my goodness. I was trying to follow along to some of the project pages that I saved with this because some of the instructions weren't too clear on how to go and pick up the I-cord to do this detail in the back. And I will say I wish that I would have made this thicker because I only did a 3-stitch I-cord, and I wish I would have done like the 5 or 6 stitch I-cord that the pattern called for, but it was a little confusing because it had you go and pick up stitches first and then work the I-cord rather than just an applied I-cord. So I do wish that this was a bit thicker, just because I think this is a nice detail to have in the back. And I wish I could have made it stand out more. My second thing that I'm kind of unsure of is my color choice for the I-cord. I really like how the pink looks, but I have this deep wine, burgundy maroon, purpley, plummy, sparkly yarn that I had used a while back, and I thought that would also look super stunning and very, like, be even more of a contrast for the I-cord that goes around the whole vest. And I don't want to go and pull this out or rip this out and start over. Like, I'm already committed to like this here. But if I wanted to do it, I'm like, will it look weird just to have one yarn on that back detail and then the rest of like the collar down the front, in the armholes, and then the ties, because there'll be like a tie to close this? Would that look too weird? Or do I go ahead and do the color that I prefer and then go back over this and maybe like duplicate stitch it? Would that look even more wonky? I'll probably just commit with the pink. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see what it looks like whenever I get to the body length. So, and then, I don't know. So I'm like conflicted with how I want this to look, because I think either color would look nice. I think whenever I pictured in my head the idea of that sparkly yarn, I was like, oh, that would look so beautiful. But I also want to use that yarn for a pair of socks. And so I'd rather have the yarn for that. I'd rather know that I have enough yarn for the pair of socks than how much yarn I would need to do the I-cord around this. It's not a lot, but it's not a full skein. I've already used some of that yarn for heels and toes, right? I don't know. But it's working up super fast. The other project that I have this week is a new cast on, and it is my first commission. I connected with a coworker who was interested if I was taking commissions. I've never done a commission before. I usually just knit for myself. I've knit a couple other gifts for friends, like baby sweaters or beanies. I knit socks for my mom because we're the same shoe size. But I did start my first commission this week, and it is a pair of socks. It is in this wireframe bag. Like one side says knit, one side says purl. This is from Prep Eclectic, and it's great. It's one of my favorite project bags. Sock that I'm working on, that was hard. I am working on a pair of just vanilla socks, and I am so obsessed with the yarn that my coworker chose. I am jealous. I've had this yarn in my stash for years and I haven't used it. I've never used it because I was like, it's so beautiful. Do I want it to be a beanie or a pair of socks? Like, what do I want to do with this? And I included it in pictures of yarn. I was like, hey, here's some yarn that I've got. If you want a pair of socks, like, here's what I can do for you. And they chose the yarn, and I'm like, dang, I'm so happy it's going to someone who's gonna love it, but I'm also so sad that I don't get to keep it. But here is the sock I am working on, just a pair of vanilla socks on 9-inch circulars. The pattern I reference is the Crazy Sock Lady, her pattern, and she has great tutorials on YouTube to walk you through knitting socks as well. I am doing my first 72 stitch count. Yeah, and so these are the socks. I have this is just sock 1, and this is ready for the heel to start. So it is looking so good. Look at all those colors, just the moody purples and the browns, and oh, it's so good. Let's talk about the yarn. So this is on Miss Babs, and this is the Putnam fingering weight yarn base, and it is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. And this is in the show colorway from DFW Fiberfest in 2022. Look at that. Stunning. Stunning. I love it so much. I think this would have been a beautiful muscle burra. So again, but so glad it's getting worked up because it's just, oh, it's so beautiful. And then I think I said this, I'm knitting these on 9-inch circulars, size US 1, or what is this, 2.25 millimeter. So beautiful. So my plan, well, actually we can go and start in talking about goals. Goals for these socks, I want to finish these by the end of August. So my goal is to finish sock 1 this week. I am following a very similar, if not exactly the same schedule that I stuck to whenever I was knitting my Sock Week socks with Knitting Natty's schedule that she posted. So since I'm working these cuff down, I'm just following the cuff down timeline. So today I need to finish the heel. So that's my goal for the socks. For the Skyline Tee, I would like to just finish just about the body length. Do a final, not a final try on, do another try on to see if I like the length, and if it's around where I want it to be, then I'll go ahead and do the collar. I don't anticipate picking up the collar this week, but just at least get to about the length that I want to get to. And then for my leftover vest, I just want to keep knitting on the body. There's really no deadline on this. Lately what I've been doing is I've been watching TV episodes, and like I've been watching where each episode is like 20 minutes. And so after each episode, I cycle through all my projects. And so it's like the Skyline Tee is an episode, then the vest is an episode, then the socks are an episode. And then I keep going rotating through those as I've been watching TV. And it's a good system because it's like, okay, I'm working on everything. It's nice. Let's see, that's everything for my projects. Piper got a bath this weekend. She's extra poofy. Just kind of some general things. A giveaway is still happening for hitting 500 subscribers here on YouTube. I am still coordinating with some makers. It's just busy season right now. Life is crazy for a lot of people. So again, I appreciate your patience there. So hopefully as they're catching up on orders, then we can get some prizes here in the mail to me, and then I can draw names to get them to you. What did I say? So today's August 17th. Which means we're just about a month away from DFW Fiberfest. I cannot believe it's already coming up. It's practically here, and I am so excited. Which means I really need to start nailing down what I want my Q4 object to be that I'm going to be purchasing yarn for. I really want to start narrowing down my list of expected purchases so I can plan out my budget for that, of like what I want to spend money on. And I was thinking of, in one of my upcoming episodes, doing like a tips and tricks for DFW Fiberfest. I know a few of you have been before, and maybe some of you are coming for the first time. And it's exciting because I cannot wait to see there, interact with everyone, say hello. But I figure, because this is my 22, 23, 24, this is my 4th year going to DFW Fiberfest, and so I feel like I have a pretty good, knowledge base of what to expect, what I find works well. I have taken classes, I've not taken classes, I've done the vendor hall multiple days, like for shopping around. I have stayed in a hotel there. I've commuted in. Yeah, so I just feel like I've got a couple things that I would recommend to people as they prepare for Fiberfest. And as someone who's like, I need to have my list and know what to expect of like my packing list and my shopping list and like all the things, to me, that's just who I am. So I'd figure some of you are probably that way too and would love to know like what I recommend. So, but how far is too far out to prepare, you know? Like I mentioned, we're a month out. So maybe, I don't know if I should break it in half and do like a few tips and tricks next week and then a couple the week after that, because then you're like 2 to 3 weeks out after that. Or should I just do a whole segment at the end of a regular episode and say, okay, here's the Fiberfest stuff. That way you've got time to plan and everything. So I don't know, we'll see. But look out for that content coming. That way you can just know what to expect at DFW Fiberfest. I believe bingo is still open. I don't think they've sold out of their Friday night bingo event yet. I'm going with some friends. I'm super excited. And what else? I think the hotel options for their hotel block at the discounted price, I think they still have some options there. They have a huge list of different hotels that they've been able to get room blocks and lowered rates for. So if you are traveling in and staying at a hotel, be sure to have that booked as well. I am commuting in this year just because rather than pay for a hotel, I want more money to spend on yarn. Let's talk about reading, watching, and listening, because that's all the knitting stuff that I have for you this week. Reading. I was reading The Marriage Act by John Moyes, and the past 2 weeks have just been so chaotic getting back into like a school hour routine. I did not have time to finish it, so I did not finish it. I was almost halfway through it. And before I realized it, like my loan, like it returned itself to the library. There is a long wait list to get back to. So I do need to check out my library in person to see if they have it available. But I was enjoying that. I I was just reading it so slowly, and I think I was missing some information because, again, with his books, there seems to be always like a lot of players. Like there's an ensemble of people to keep up with. So I didn't finish that, but I would like to finish it. So that one's on pause right now until I can get my hands on a either physical copy or e-reader copy of the book. I did, however, start After You, which is the second book in the JoJo Moyes series of Me Before You. So I read that one a few months ago, and now I'm reading the second one. And let me tell you, it's like I already got sad and angry with the book. I'm only a few chapters in, and I'm just like, oh, because I've never read it before. And then they never made like the continuation of the movies, because they made Me Before You, and I loved that movie. So I had no idea what was going to happen in the second book, and I think there's a third. Yeah, so reading that, watching, I finished Criminal Minds, and I was upset at how they handled some stuff for some characters. I was surprised and did enjoy some of the characters that they brought back in the last few episodes. Yeah, it was good, but I really enjoyed it, but some of the stuff like kind of ticked me off. I was like, why? Like, did you just do that just so you can say you touched on it? Like, I don't know, but it's fine. So yeah, finished Criminal Minds, and I did start Abbott Elementary, and I have been binging my way through that. There are currently 4 seasons out, and I am in season 3, and I think a new season is starting in the fall, in October. So that'll be fun. So I should be all caught up by then. And then a fun one is I did go to the movies last week, like a week ago, I think, and saw Freakier Friday, which was so fun, so good. It like was so well done and made so many like callbacks and acknowledgments to the first one, and there was a lot of fun Easter eggs in the movie and just references to other projects. I really enjoyed it. It was so well done. Like it was like the same plot, but just like kind of with a little bit of different like stages of life and storylines in with it, and it was so fun. I would see it again. So that was good. Still listening to the latest season of the Something Was Wrong podcast. It is just so fascinating. And I think that's all I'm listening to. My other podcasts that I listen to on repeat are This Might Get Weird, Crime Junkie. Yeah, I've just really been in a podcast kick lately. Yeah. Let's wrap her on up with 3 simple joys. That way I can just kind of sit and relax the rest of the afternoon. It kind of does look like it's going to rain out right now. It is very overcast. The weather's been kind of weird. We've had like bad air quality, a little bit of rain, lots of cloudy. I'm ready for it to cool down. A lot of people are like, oh, it's fall. Not in North Texas. To me, fall doesn't hit until at least like end of September, and that's not even saying the temperatures have dropped a whole lot. Like it can be hot until Thanksgiving here, okay, for being honest. But I am ready for it to cool down. Yeah, but anyways, let's wrap around up with 3 simple joys. And these are just 3 little things that have brought me joy over the last week, and in this case, 2 weeks. Simple joy number 1 is instant espresso. In particular, the Nescafe, I think it's like gold instant espresso. I cannot afford an espresso machine. I've always been just like a pour over gal with like the little cone that you put on your coffee cup. Typically that's my preferred brew method for coffee. If I'm not drinking that, then I'm just drinking the Stoke cold brew. But I have been wanting to try to make myself lattes at home. So I have seen so many people like rave about the Nescafe instant espresso. And so I bought some, and it is so good. I might have created a monster. On the first day I got it, I had like 2 double shot drinks, like lattes, like it was crazy. But it's really good, and it feels like a way to elevate my coffee a little bit. And it's been super fun to kind of play around with little different recipes like that. Like I just did like a classic espresso over milk, and then I did a whipped salted honey espresso, so it was all fluffy, and then it just like you put it on your milk and kind of mix it in. Simple joy number 2, and I didn't bring it out here with me, is my popcorn bucket from Freakier Friday. So whenever I went, I didn't actually get their popcorn bucket, and they had 2 actually. It was a drink and a popcorn bucket. And so in Freaky Friday theme, the popcorn bucket looked like a giant drink, and the drink looked like a little popcorn bucket. I didn't get the chance to get it, but my husband went to the movies the following day to go see a movie, and he got me the popcorn bucket. So it's probably like this big, and it looks like a giant drink because it even has, a straw, doesn't work, and like fake ice on top, and then you open it and like your popcorn is in there. And so I have been eating popcorn out of it because it came with a free large popcorn. So one, I got the bucket and the movie theater popcorn, and then I figured out that a regular like microwavable bag of popcorn fits in there perfectly. So it's been like a fun little thing to eat out of, and so I really like it. And simple joy number 3, which is related to the espresso, is a new coffee creamer. I drink the Chobani coffee creamer. The sweet cream is usually the one I drink. I also enjoy the cookie dough one. And then the latest one that I've fallen in love with, which I think is only like limited edition, is the s'mores one. It's so good. A little goes a long way with all their creamers, but like I feel like a little bit more so this one. And it says limited batch on it, so I don't know how long it's going to be around, but I did buy another one whenever I saw it. So now I have 2 in the fridge. So I'm like trying to like ration it out so I can like really make it go as long as I possibly can. And it's what is in here right now. This is just cold brew with a little bit of the creamer. That's all I have for you this week. Thank you so much for coming back each week. I'm so excited. We are so close to DFW Fiberfest, so I really need to get stuff in order and like what I want to go in mind to shop for. So I'll share that in the next couple of upcoming episodes of like my planning tips, what I plan on purchasing yarn for, other things that I'm going to keep in mind. I will definitely share all those with you as you're gearing up for like maybe whatever other festival you're going to. I know Flock just happened in Seattle. Rhinebeck is coming up in October. And then there's DFW Fiberfest coming up here in September. So lots to prepare for. I'm only going to DFW Fiberfest. Yeah, and so until next time, stay caffeinated.